tonight from Cincinnati, the Red Sox jump back into interleague play, taking on the Reds inside Great American Ballpark. The Sox have exactly 10 games left, still atop the American League East by 3, with 3 to go on this trip. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us tonight in Cincinnati. I'm Dave O'Brien, alongside the former Red Sox and Red, Johnny Gomes, and also Jemai Webster, joining us in just a couple of moments. And, Johnny, tonight is a homecoming for Andrew Benintendi. He was raised here in this area, went to high school here. They had a big day for him just yesterday. They anticipate maybe 1,000 people will be in the stands from his hometown here tonight.
Yeah, really cool. I mean, I came up in Northern California, an Oakland A's fan, and it just seems so far away, the Coliseum. I'm sure it did for him here. He goes to college, boom, call up right from AA, and the opportunity interleague, I'm sure he circled it on the schedule knowing he was going to come here. I'm sure his hometown's been waiting a long time for this, and he's coming in hot. Boy, is he coming in hot, not only getting hits, but winning games.
Winning ball games as he did the other night in that extra inning affair at Baltimore. Big hit there to score 2 and make it 10-8. And then yesterday at Madera, as he was back amongst all of those kids and a junior high, and they had a wonderful homecoming for him. That's going to continue here inside the ballpark tonight. He has so many friends and family. Some anticipating up to a third of that town will be on hand here tonight at Great American Ballpark. Now, his last 11, as you mentioned, hitting .353, hitting the ball hard, 12 runs batted in, and likes to face the National League as many Red Sox do.
Yeah, it's a unique situation too. Obviously, a lot of arms that you haven't faced. Really puts a hand forward about how good this guy is. But the opportunity to come home, I remember that first at bat in front of my hometown crowd, a little nerve-wracking. But he's going to have, what, a fourth, a third of the town here? I tell you what, it's going to be a nice homecoming. Hopefully we can give him some big hits.
Should be a blast for Andrew Benintendi in a ballpark that is an absolute launching pad. Now we'll see how Rick Porcello handles that. Lately, the right-hander has been pitching very, very effectively. He is picking up some wins, and he's going deep into games up against the Cincinnati Reds. Very powerful lineup tonight here in Game 1 of the 3-game series in Cincinnati. BuyAToyota.com. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Lexus and the Lexus Strikes Out Hunger program. Plain Ridge Park Casino, don't miss the Choose Your Ride giveaway Saturdays in September. The all-new Amstel X Light, grab the 90-cal 2-carb great-tasting light beer. And by Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Back in Cincinnati, Sox and the Reds at Great American Ballpark. Time to toss it down to Jemai Webster. This may be a family affair, Jemai, for one of these games in the series because of that number 52 in the Reds uniform.
No question about it. That's Luke Farrell, John Farrell's son. We all know that time with family in the physical form is few and far between when you're living life in Major League Baseball. So there's a real opportunity for some special bonding and some special memories to be created. Of course, John Farrell got the chance to see Luke make his Major League debut in Kansas City earlier this year, and now he's going to have to strategize against him. I asked John if he had the book on his son Luke.
We've got a scouting report on him just like every other pitcher. So again, you know, how we go out and play is the most important thing. But yeah, this is a unique thing. It'll be, if he gets to the mound, a moment that you'll personally enjoy. Like I said, I'm very proud of him. Very proud of he and his two brothers and what they continue to do in the game. But still, we know what our goal is. He's my son, but he's in the other uniform. I don't mean to sound crass or ultra competitive, but that's where we are. This is an important series for us. We don't take them lightly. This is an offense that's filled with power. They've got power arms up and down the lineup in a bullpen and in the rotation. So we've got business to attend to.
Luke says he had breakfast with his dad earlier this morning, and they walked over to the ballpark together. He joked that it was like take your son to work day, but he was the son. And now it gets real because the game needs to start. Luke may make an appearance, but that remains to be seen. That both teams right now are looking for a victory. It's the series home finale for the Reds, and we got Rick Porcello on the mound. We'll be right back. Dave O'Brien, Johnny Gomes on the call.
Batting glove of Major League Baseball. Subaru of New England, supplying all-wheel drive vehicles with a passion for fall activities. And by Sullivan Tire and Complete Auto Service. Sox and the Reds, Interleague Baseball. And we'll give you a look at the Red Sox lineup now. It's brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Xander Bogaerts the lead off. Dustin Pedroia second. Benintendi in left with Betts in right. Mitch Moreland at first base. No DH, remember here. Christian Vasquez doing the catching. Rafael Devers back at third. Jackie Bradley in center. Rick Porcello doing the pitching, and he will bat tonight. Up against the right-hander Sal Romano, the 23-year-old out of New York, 6'5", 270 pounds. They call him Big Sal, and he is that.
Let's take a look at the Reds defense. Suarez at third base. Zach Kozar Shortstop, Scooter Gennett at second base, and over at first base, Joey Votto. Left field, Duvall playing left, the speedy Billy Hamilton in center, and Schebler holding down right field.
And the first pitch is downstairs, ball one. We're underway. 84 degrees as we get started. It's been a steamy day here in Cincinnati.
And that's going to come with the invite right here at Cincinnati. Steamy weather during the summer, miserably cold in the winter.
1-1 to Xander. Hard hit, base hit past the shortstop, Cozart. Sox with a leadoff man on. The umpires are brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Pat Holberg has the plate. Joe West at first. Mark Wegner at second. Ben May at third. We're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by Toyota. Visit Comper2Toyota.com to see Toyota deals not seen on TV. When Johnny talks about the weather in Cincinnati, take his word for it because he played here and you sweat through some summers here.
Yeah, that is a fact. I call this place a 3-uniform game. Every 3 innings, you'll find yourself up in the clubhouse with a full change in uni, and you can ring out your whole uni. There's Dustin Pedroia right there showcasing the new Viking helmet, if you will, due to that foul ball that he took right off his nose.
We really thought he broke it, Johnny. He fouled it right off the plate, came back, smack in the face, and he started bleeding from the nose. Whenever you see that, when a baseball comes back in your face, you figure it's busted.
Yeah, that's especially at the nose too. But Dustin Pedroia, he doesn't break, he just bends.
Hitting .301, 7 homers. He's driven in 60. And he is playing second base tonight. Red Sox facing Romano. He's a rookie. One of 3 rookies the Sox will face in the series.
Yeah, that's kind of the flow of traffic when you're facing a ball club that's in the position that the Los Rojos are in, as you can see across their chest. The Los Reds. Hispanic
Heritage Night here at the ballpark, so different look to the uniforms as he checked his swing. Count 3-1 on Pedroia. But Romano is a big Yankee fan. He's from Long Island, New York. And he said he is pumped up about facing the Red Sox for the first time. He grew up going to a lot of Red Sox Yankee games, both at Yankee Stadium and he said also at Fenway Park as a young kid. That's a strike. He's a hard throw, 96.
Yeah, that pitch right there, borderline on the outer half. You kind of see it splitting early in the game to complain, but all you can do is hope Porcello gets that same pitch.
Benintendi on deck, and you're going to hear some serious applause for him. This homecoming for Andrew. 3-2. There goes the runner, and it's fouled away by Pedroia. In fact, Romano said he wished that this game, his first start against the Red Sox in his career, was at Fenway Park. He said, I know the Yankees are 3 games behind them. It's pretty cool facing them.
Yeah, I can imagine kind of like Benny coming home. I mean, he grew up watching the team, but he's going to have to start supporting those Reds and trying to beat everyone in the NL Central versus worrying about the Sox and the Yankees. But young guy, obviously a fan of the game, and I'm sure he's all hyped up.
Bogart's taken off, and that is ball 4. He did appeal down to Joe West, but no swing there, so it'll be ball 4. Pedroia will reach. Bogart's down to second base on the walk. Sox trying to build something right away, and here comes Benintendi. A nice moment for Andrew, who grew up in the Cincinnati suburb of Madera. It's about 12 miles northeast of this ballpark. He saw the Reds a lot right here as a kid. Well, a younger kid. He's 23. Well, Squibbs underneath Barnhart, and down to third goes Bogaerts. Pedroia did not get a good look. He holds it first.
Yeah, I think the ball's kind of hidden from the catcher right there, and you're going to have to do a couple things for Pedroia. One, look at the runner ahead of you to see if he goes, so you don't have to run him off second. Look back to see if Joey Votto's coming back. So he's got a lot going on right there. So he's going to go back, and he's going to look at Bogaerts going, and it's too late. Better be safe than sorry.
So it'll be a wild pitch. First and third, nobody out.
Looks like Big Sal's a little fired up for this. Got a knock on the second pitch, a walk, pass ball. He's going to have to settle down.
And a 1-0. Overthrew that one. Well, the book on him is mid to upper 90s with that fastball. Great slider. He is trying to secure a spot in the Reds rotation for next season, so this is an open audition for him. He's had an issue with walks, so he can be a little bit wild. 2-1.
That's your first hometown swing right there, and he definitely had one thing on his mind, like he should be hitting third for the Sox, knowing he's hitting in this launching pad, and that swing right there probably trying to put it over the seats and into the river that you can see from up here.
Well, the rookie only 4 years removed from being named the Ohio Gatorade High School Player of the Year, and became a big star in this area. His senior year at Madera High, he batted .564.
Yeah, that's just having a tough time getting out. Well, that a dream crusher right there.
Oh.
Those young kids just trying to get it out and spreading it all over the park.
Oh, and by the way, lots of home runs too. First and third, nobody out. Red Sox trying to strike right away here. He left it up. 3-2. Sox are 5-1 on the road trip. They have again thoroughly enjoyed interleague play. They're 13-4 against the National League.
We'll see if Pedroia gets a little action right here. 3-2, no outs. He'd apply a little pressure in the first inning, or he can just stay put. We'll see what they got on.
He takes ball 4, and that's going to load up the bases. Benintendi on. Second walk by Romano. All filled up. No place to put Mookie Betts.
The RBI machine as of late. He's going to tell everyone he's going to be knocking on that door at 100. He's really been chasing it down the stretch. Only 4 left right here. He hits one in the seats. Wow, what a way for 100.
Oh, and you can do that here. Great American Ballpark. 328 down the left field line. 325 down the right field line. 404 to dead center. And that's a strike.
I'll tell you, when I played here, the biggest benefit to playing in this ballpark is you always talk about when you're slumping, go the other way, but you know, I don't really want to go the other way. But just knowing I had an opposite field home run in my pocket here allowed you to go the other way and go line to line.
They're loaded up, the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mookie tripled homered and drove in 2 on Wednesday. Has 18 RBIs in his last 12 games.
That's doing work right there. He's on a mission. He's not going to tell you he's chasing for that 100, but I tell you what, that's a nice even number to have on the back of your card.
As you said, so close, just 4 away from 100 RBIs. He powers in a strike in 97. .6'5", 270. Romano now makes his home in Southington, Connecticut. He's in front on Mookie, 1-2. Swing and a miss, and he got him. He struck him out. Got him with that slider.
Yeah, here's that slider we were talking about before, and this is really the best one that he's showcased so far. And that's the first time he's really been ahead of a hitter. But I tell you what, swing and miss right there. You see the check swing. You don't see Mookie do that very often, but again, interleague play, hasn't faced him. He's going to walk back to the dugout and make a little mental note. See what he does coming around, and Mitch Moreland still having the opportunity of 1 out.
Well, we'll see if this ballpark can be a slump buster for one Mitch Moreland. And he could use a little bit of help offensively. He's 0 for his last 15. 4 for 23 on the road trip. You look great in batting practice. He'll take ball 1. He launched one after another up into those red seats in right field. Many deep into those bleachers. That was BP. That was at 5. See what he does at 7:20.
You know, when those lights kick on, it's a lot different. But I tell you what, Mitch has kind of been the Red Sox saving grace, if you will. I mean, he's been slumping when the team's hot. He's kind of just passing the torch to the boys. But then when the Sox need him, here he is hitting the ball off Corey Kluber into the seats in Cleveland, going the other way at home, knocking that wall down. It's kind of like when the boys are getting tired, he kind of goes, all right, jump on my back. But kind of hiding them right there behind Betts. But it'd be nice to get these runs touching the dish, give Porcello a nice little lead.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is a streaky hitter, and he has been that. When he's been hot, he's been very hot. Right now on a cool stretch. 2-1. Vasquez on deck. Red Sox have him loaded up. Bogarts at third, Pedroia at second, Benintendi at first, and 1 down.
Yeah, big swing straight back. It looked like he's right on it. We'll see if he's going to go back to that power slider, that same one that he got Mookie on. The power slider was a ball, but it did have a whole lot of depth to it right there. See if he can throw it for a strike. See what he's going to go right here in a 2-1 hitters count.
High fly ball into left field. Duvall there, shy of the track underneath to make the catch. Tagging up Xander Bogaerts. He's going to score. That's the first run of the ball game. Mitch Moreland will drive in his 72nd with a sacrifice fly, and the Red Sox are in the lead 1-0.
Good job right there, Mitch, too. I mean, he's obviously one of those hitters that they do the big shift against. In saying that, you know, he stayed on it and went to left field where he's the big power hitter to the right side. That's why they shift him. So him going the other way, you know, you got to crawl before you walk. So hopefully that's looking up for him.
Well, the Red Sox would hope to do more in the inning than just the 1 run. And the bases loaded and nobody out. Now there are 2 down and a run in for Vasquez. 296 with 5 home runs. Sits safely in 7 of his last 9. Pedroia and Benintendi aboard at second and first. One almost gets away, but Barnhart gets to it. So no advance by the runners.
I'll tell you what, that is a power slider coming from a big guy right there. And well, Barnhart's going to have his work cut out for him, especially if he is hyped up like he's been. He's going to be spiking some of these balls. Here's that pitch right here, and you see it woof, just take off. And that's self-defense for a catcher right there, and more of the lines of just going to your knees and blocking it.
Sox lead the all-time series against Cincinnati in the regular season 9-1. They have not met since 2014. And of course, the most memorable series they ever played was the 1975 World Series, which the Reds won in 7 games. Many would call it still the greatest World Series ever played.
Tell you what, these Cincinnati fans are definitely believers in that.
Feeling like a long time ago to a lot of them.
He went 2-0 fastball to Mitch right down the middle. So let's see, there it is again.
And he popped him up on the infield. Votto coming on. He'll make the play to retire at the side. So that could have gotten a lot worse for Romano. The Red Sox get just the 1 run here in the first inning. Bottom of the first now. Here's the Reds lineup brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Billy Hamilton will lead things off very fast. Cozart at short. Votto at first base. Scooter Gennett is at second. Suarez at third. Scott Schebler in right field. Duvall in left. Tucker Barnhart does the catching. And Romano is the pitcher against the Red Sox starter. Presented by New England Audi dealers. Rick Porcello, 10-17. ERA of 4.46. I saw you speaking to him at length down in the clubhouse. Most of the time, starting pitchers don't like to do that, but you got away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just really ask me questions about the ballpark, guys I played against, and I think I can be biased. You know, I'm over here, and I'd love Porcello to do well. And with that being said, just handing out the info that I've gathered along my way, and it's pretty pro of him to come up and ask.
Did he ask you, how does anybody get Joey Votto out?
His name did come up.
I bet it did. 1-2 to Hamilton. Laces that to right. Betts closing. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Hamilton content with a base hit, but he can really fly, and he'll be looking to steal a base.
And the Red Sox defense brought to you by Southwest Airlines and trying to hold them down. Devers, of course, hit third, Bogey at short. Pedroia, 4 Gold Gloves, second base. Mitch Moreland toting one around. Benny in left field. Jackie Bradley in center. And Betts going to hold down right field. The battery, Porcello throwing to Vasquez.
Hamilton on at first base with 58 stolen bases.
Yeah, and you can argue that he's kind of been beat up with his thumbs and his legs, and I think the reason he is coming back is simply to chase down that stolen base total that he's working with, and I think that's something that he's back for. And I don't think it's selfish. I mean, his team, you know, is kind of in last place right now, not playing for much. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to just rack up your personal stats, go for it.
Cozart, the batter. 299, 23 home runs, and you'll see that oven mitt on Hamilton's left hand. He's just coming back off the DL from a fractured left thumb. As Johnny said, he's been hurt, he's been banged up, you know, chunks of the year, but he's only been caught 10 times.
This matchup right here is probably the best speed in the game with the best arm behind home plate. That's the strategy right there of a pitch out, trying to protect it. But you got to think Vasquez doesn't need much help. I mean, this guy's got a bazooka behind the plate. You just go your standard fastball down and out.
Knocked foul. Cozart, one of the 6 Reds to homer 20 times this season. There's a lot of power in the lineup, but they're not a good ball club. They're 66 and 87. Been a rough year here in Cincinnati. They're dead last in the National League in pitching. And in the majors, only Detroit has a higher ERA. That's why the Reds are where they're at. It's no secret. Runner goes. Got a great jump. Fly ball right center toward the alley. On the run, Bradley can't get it. Hamilton had to hold up. Now he's into third base. He'll stop there. Sliding in, Cozart has a double. Jackie with a long run to try and get it.
Not a bad pitch at all. A little bit elevated. But I tell you what, that's the stress that speed does on the bases. It allows you to rush your delivery, thinking about the runner, taking a little bit of that mental stuff off the hitter. You'll end up leaving that ball up a little bit.
I can't remember, maybe it's happened this season, but I can't recall a time where Jackie Bradley got leather on it and did not make the catch this season.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I think he might have took a peek at that wall, because as fast as Jackie runs, you know, his strides back home are going to take him right into the triangle out there. So for him to have that wall kind of jump up on him pretty quick.
Here's Votto now. Joey Votto, simply put, one of the great hitters in baseball. 316, 35 homers, 96 runs batted in, an on-base percentage of .451. He is on base constantly. He'll take one in.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that this ball club wouldn't be in a whole different spot if they just had someone hitting behind Joey Votto to drive him in 45% of the time that he is on base. he's about as automatic as it gets in this game right now.
Hamilton at third, Cozart at second. Red Sox up 1-0. Meanwhile, the Yankees have just tied the game with Toronto in the first inning on a 469-foot home run by Aaron Judge. Tied up 1-1. They're in Toronto tonight.
Let's see if Joey's got the 3-0 green light. Sometimes he has a tendency to sniff out that RBI, especially with the infield back.
And he's going to take ball 4, so immediately he gets on. He walks a lot. That's the 128th of the year. It's a hair-raising episode of NESN Clubhouse Sunday. Brock Holt teaching us how to take a lead. And we learn about Andrew Benintendi's hometown. We're learning a lot about that this weekend. Don't want to miss the Flow Bros Sunday 11:30 on NESN Clubhouse, presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts. So in the first inning, both sides have had the bases loaded. That'll send up Scooter Gennett. 297 with 27 homers and 89 runs batted in. He's a dangerous hitter. High fly, deep right field. Forget about it. That's going to be a grand slam. Well, this is a young man who hit 4 home runs in one game earlier this summer, and he jumps all over Porcello.
Yeah, he sure did. He did knock those 4 homers out in one game. Not many Major League ball players have done that in history. But this guy was put on waivers. He was put on waivers by the Milwaukee Brewers last day of spring training. I tell you what, he had one thing on his mind right there. So you can't walk Joey Votto to get to me. I got something to say about that.
Boy, that pitch said hit me. And Porcello knew it. 28th home run for Gennett. And that'll bring up Suarez, 267. He's hit 26 homers. Well, you really can't make a mistake like that with a club like this in this ballpark. Red Sox down 4-1. Line drive, and that'll be caught by Devers.
There's another National League ballpark, the one that's over in Colorado. And I tell you what, you almost don't want to look at the scoreboard. Sure, you got to play with the lead and play from behind, but at any given point, can you put 4 runs up at a given time in this ballpark? Walk, walk, homer, walk, walk, homer. Boom, there's 6 runs right there in a heartbeat.
And Gennett with a grand slam. It traveled 414 feet. His 4th grand slam of the season. Moreland will pluck that and go to the bag for the second out. That'll set down Schebler. 29 home runs for him. Now comes Adam Duvall, who's hit 31. So it's the one part of the Reds game that is championship caliber. Home runs, and they can score. And they have immediately against Rick Porcello. Sox fans, for the final home games of the season, you can bring the whole clan to the family to a Fenway Park with a family 4-pack. You get 4 tickets, 4 Fenway Franks, 4 fountain sodas, all courtesy of Aramark. Go to redsox.com/family 4-packs to get this great deal today. Duvall 245, 31 homers. He's driven in 97 runs. In fact, he could drive in 100 for the 2nd consecutive season. Fly ball into center shallow. Long run in for JBJ, and he's going to make that play to retire the side. But Porcello gives up another home run. Been a big issue for him this season. And it's 4-1 Cincinnati on the grand slam. himself to Joe Dirt and declares there should be an official Joe Dirt Day, as he is prone to do. Don't miss this and more on Charlie Moore Outdoors tonight at 11:30 after NESN Sports Today. Johnny Gomes alongside Dave O'Brien and Jemiah Webster. That one flared down the left field line, heading into the corner, and that's going to be a fair ball off Devers' bat. He's into second base, and the throw will be late. He's got himself a double. Oh, then he came off the bag, and he was tagged out. He took his foot off the base, and he was tagged out. Second base umpire Mark Wegner was right there. John Farrell is thinking about a challenge. Take a look. No, there's just a question of whether he got the foot back in, and the Red Sox are not going to challenge. So it's a double, and he's out 7-4.
And I'll tell you what it looked like is Duvall doing a good job of just firing that ball back in, because you just never know. And I think Devers was kind of going to have a little stand-up double, no big deal. And with Devers just firing that ball in there, it looks like he went for a late slide and just slid over the bag, and his momentum carried him. That was a good job by Duvall right there. I mean, this is a guaranteed double, but he says you never know. You just fire this thing right in there. One hop, perfect. Looks like Devers just started his slide a little too late. It's unfortunate.
So one away, Jackie Bradley will look at a ball. Rick Porcello on deck.
He's sitting at 0-2, throws a ball right there to get him 1-2. Devers getting a hit early. Big slider.
Yep, cut on and miss, struck him out. Barnhart will complete it.
Most of the time what you'll see is a young guy when he's kind of all over the place, a little hyped up with his couple walks in the first inning. He's going to go back to the dugout. He's going to pitching coach tell him to settle down and get ahead. Settle down and get ahead. And you know that on the opposing side too. That's why you're seeing a lot of early strikes, and that's when you really got to pound on them.
The two away for Rick Porcello, who is 0 for 2 so far this season, and he'll take a strike. First pitcher's batting here in this National League City. No designated hitter. 4-1 Cincinnati. Here in the second, and a high pop down the right field line. Schebler moving over, but it's off into the stands.
I'll tell you the debate going on right now about should there be a DH on both sides, the American League and the National League, and obviously the historians say no, no, no. But when you talk about the players that played back when they were really watching the game in the 60s, 70s, their pitchers weren't making $30 million in a season. So when you're talking talking about interleague play, when you got a David Price, you got a Chris Sale, you got a Porcello, and these guys are making multiple millions of dollars. Do you want to risk them taking a hit by pitch off the hand or off the knee that could harm them?
There's the other question too, is do you really want to see them swing the bat at all?
Never.
If there's a professional hitter who can fill that role?
100%. Hanley Ramirez is sitting on the bench right now.
Rick Porcello is a good athlete, but I don't think a lot of folks necessarily want to see starting pitchers swing the bat. He'll strike out, and that's all. Well, it started pretty well, the double by Devers, but he is cut down, and it's 4-1 Cincinnati. The Red Sox and all of Red Sox Nation want to extend best wishes to Harvard freshman football player Ben Abercrombie, who suffered a serious spine injury last Saturday in the game against URI. Ben is from Hoover, Alabama, but he's a lifelong Red Sox fan. His dad grew up in Winter Haven, Florida, and watched Yaz and all the Red Sox in spring training. That's how the whole Abercrombie family became Red Sox fans. Ben intends to watch Saturday's Harvard Brown game from the Neuro ICU at Rhode Island Hospital on Nesson. Ben, we're all big Ben Abercrombie fans and rooting hard for you. God bless you, my friend. Cincinnati batting here in the second inning. Tucker Barnhart, 272, 6 home runs. He's had a very good week. Reds just announced today they've signed the 26-year-old catcher to a 4-year extension.
Good for him and good for the Reds, you know, kind of building this core back up. There's a lot of guys that took off. You know, you want to talk about a Jay Bruce, you know, who left, a Drew Stubbs who left, Mike Leake who left, Brendan Phillips obviously of late, and they were able to find Scooter Gennett, which seemed to be a pretty good little trade right there. But the Reds starting to build a little core again, which is nice.
Well, they are one of the National League's better home run hitting teams. They've hit over 200. 2-2. They have proven the old baseball truth, however. Pitching wins.
Yeah, that's a nice little learning curve for baseball and, you know, Sox Nation, if you will, about the lack of homers that the Sox do have.
Ball 4.
And at the end of the day, what would you really want to have? The exciting element of hitting home runs, or the exciting element of throwing zeros on the defensive side and getting a walk, read a ball in dirt, single, scores a guy?
I want to have them both.
I'm in.
A Thursday is Gym Bag giveaway night at Fenway. First 12,000 fans in attendance receive a Red Sox Gym Bag presented by CarMax. For tickets and more information, visit redsox.com/promos. But you're right, in the end, if you can only have one, have pitching, and lots of that.
Game's been going on for a long time. You don't see too many World Series games that turn into slugfest. They all got arms.
Well, Romano to bat for himself, and he's another point in your argument to have a DH in both leagues. He's 1 for 22 with 14 strikeouts and trouble bunting it too. Billy Hamilton on deck, 4-1. Cincinnati on a grand slam by Scooter Gennett. Reds are an okay home team. They're 39-39 here. Shows bunt, got that one down. Porcello looking at second. He'll go to first base and get the certain out there. Barnhart into second base on the sacrifice, so Romano gets that bunt down very nicely. Top of the order now in Hamilton.
And that's just a win at bat for a pitcher right there. That is best case scenario. That's why you'll see all those high fives. Good job bunting. That's what everyone's telling him right there.
Nice bunt. Way to bunt it.
I love the history of the game. I watch it. I follow it. I want to learn about it. But there's a lot of things in this game that have changed. And I tell you what, one of the biggest things is the money. And if I was a general manager of a club, if I was an owner of a ball club, I would not want to pay a man $30 million to do something he does not know how to do. With that being said, a lot of these pitchers do not know how to hit.
A fair number of them, and you know this is true, believe they can.
Yes. The stubbornness of pitchers.
Yes. It's a lot of fun to watch them take batting practice, because the pitchers love to play these games about, you know, who might hit one out in BP. And it's hilarious because they're incredibly competitive.
I tell you, coming up with Tampa being the American League and this being my next stop in Cincinnati, really got caught up in the strategy of watching the pitch count and when's he going to come up and when to pinch hit. It was something really cool to follow the National League style of ball. I really learned a lot about the game and the strategy and this and that, when to bunt them, when to swing them, do you bunt them with 2 strikes, all the strategy going on. But at the end of the day, I would be devastated to watch Porcello take a ball up and in off his hand, or even running the bases and pull his hammy trying to score from second, something like that.
We saw that with Clay Buchholz years ago in San Francisco, and he promptly went on the disabled list. Now the count 3-1 on Hamilton. Is this the fastest guy in baseball?
Yes.
He has singled and he has scored. Been the stolen base leader in the majors 2 years in a row, and he's on again. Base hit into right. Mookie Betts will scoop it. The runner will be held at third base. And Hamilton is 2 for 2.
Yeah, and this is going to create a little bit of defensive deal coming up for the first and third with Hamilton at first. And that's a swing right there, just shooting it right in the hole, not doing too much. It's a big pet peeve when you see the fast guys try and pop when they pop out. Hit it on the ground and run. Hit it on the ground and run. Tim getting that single is going to set up first and third, which is going to open up the double steal, which is going to open up a lot. Who's going to cover second on a throw? Are they going to throw? I think that's what this meeting mostly is going to be about right here, is the defense.
No, it's a rough start for Porcello. He's already walked 2 men. He's allowed the grand slam. And he has runners at first and third, and 1 away for Cozart, who's another home run threat. Hey, tonight after Red Sox coverage on NESN Sports Today, we'll save you the time with the latest breaking news, including a report on the Bruins preseason. NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Now, Cozart hit the double in the first inning just off the tip of Jackie Bradley Jr.'s glove. He was on when Scooter Gennett went downtown.
Another beautiful story. Not too many coming out of Reds camp here, but Joey Votto on deck bet Zach Cozart, if you make the All-Star game this year, I will purchase you your own donkey.
Hamilton goes, throw from the knees, runner holding at third, the tag, and he's out. He came off. Boy, it's the second time in the game. Second base is a slippery spot. Mark Wegner ringing up Hamilton. We'll see if they challenge this.
I think he's out 100%. Up and over. You said it. Slippery. Keep it on. Keep it on. Yep.
No doubt.
It's a fact. Instead of calling the replay booth, they might want to call the grounds crew. Turn that into a slip and slide over there.
Just the 11th time this season that Hamilton has been caught, given how much he runs. He's tried about 70 stolen bases. So the runner holding at third, Cozart, now a 2 down. And that's in there for a strike.
And back to Zach Cozart, a proud owner of, I know nothing about them, but does have a donkey. There's a bet with Joey Votto. If you make the All-Star team this year, I will purchase you a donkey.
Chopper to third base. Devers with a long throw, and just did get him at first base. The million-dollar question is, did he want it? Did he want the donkey? And we'll have more on that when we come back. for the AL East is with MLB.com at bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball. Download MLB.com at bat today. Johnny Gomes, Dave O'Brien with it. Top half of the third. Red Sox down by 3 runs. Thanks to a Cincinnati grand slam. Xander Bogaerts will lead it off against Sal Romano, who has not been overly impressive in the first inning. The Red Sox got a run off him with a couple of walks, a base hit, a sac fly. He allowed a leadoff double to Devers in the second inning, although he took his foot off the base and was tagged out after reaching. And each side has lost a base runner on such a play.
And they created a nice little slip and slide out there. I'm going to take a note of that.
Fly ball right field. There's Schebler with room to put that away. One away in the third inning. Romano came in a hot hand, 3-1 with a 2.09 ERA his last 6 appearances. So back to the Cozart donkey story. Did he actually want it?
True story. So their Red Spring training is in Goodyear, Arizona, and supposedly he was renting a place right next to like a donkey farm or some land with a bunch of donkeys. With that being said, his little boy kind of fell in love with donkeys, and he kind of caught the donkey bug as well.
There you go. There's the emotional tie. Little boy falls in love with a donkey. Fouled away by Pedroia. He walked in the first inning.
I mean, that's got to probably put you right at the top of Father of the Year.
No
And
doubt.
I'm sure Joey Votto jumped right to being a godfather.
No doubt. And he came through.
Yep.
It wasn't one of those miniature donkeys, right? It was a full-size donkey.
Yeah, there's not much on this planet Joey Votto can't buy with the contract he's toting around.
That's for sure. Cozart will hoover that up. He's a very good defender at shortstop. 2 up and 2 down in front of Benintendi. Talked about the Red Sox success in interleague baseball. The Reds, they go the other way. They're just 5-12 against the American League, and in fact Cincinnati has the worst winning percentage in the majors since interleague play began in 1997. Just a .416 winning percentage. But out in front in this one, Benintendi took a walk in the first. Reds have not been drawing very well. They've been out of it for a long time. Got the decent crowd here tonight. Flicked into center field. Hamilton makes the catch, coming in to retire the side. It's a quiet inning. Red Sox go 1-2-3. Bottom three, Reds leading the Sox here 4-1 in Cincinnati. Joey Votto was on base after taking ball 4 in the first inning, right before Scooter Gennett blasted a grand slam. Votto having another exceptional offensive season.
Yeah, and something to take an eye on, which really separates him the most, is the squat in his legs for one, and then the choke up. Really chokes up multiple inches, and he'll continue to climb up on that bat as the pitches come through, especially with 2 strikes. And you're talking about a full-blown two-inch choke up right there just to start the at bat.
Reminds you a little bit of Barry Bonds. Did the same thing. Very few sluggers do it, but a couple of great ones there. The 2-1 and a strike.
We'll see if he goes up a little more. See that re-grip right there? He goes up a little more. Brings that sweet spot just closer to his hands. And when you got hands like him, just got to touch it.
Cut on and missed, and Votto strikes out. 94-mile-an-hour fastball to get him. So Porcello puts him away to begin the 3rd inning. Here is our Dunkin' Donuts poll question. Should the original batter be credited with the result regardless of it's a hit or an out if a player pinch hits in the middle of an at bat? Text 1 for yes, 2 for no. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. We saw that the other night when Pedroia fouled the ball off that struck him in the nose. When he left that at bat, had to come out of the game. It was 1-2. Brock Holt came on and ripped the double. Gennett with a grand slam in the first inning. He's hit 4 of them this year.
Yeah, this is called just setting your day up right here. First pitch of your day. Dropping the bat, knowing you're going to get a run scored. You're going to get 4 RBIs. Your slugging percentage is going up. Your on base is going up, all with 1 pitch in the first. Heck of a day to start your day.
Scooter, born right here in Cincinnati. Used to go to games at old Riverfront Stadium.
Another magnificent story. Scooter did hit 4 home runs in 1 game, and the Cincinnati Reds gifted him a scooter. Why wouldn't you gift him a scooter? So in their clubhouse right now, they have a donkey and a scooter.
Nice little gift. Porcello walks him. That is 3 walks already. College football is underway, of course, Saturday. Harvard will host Brown at Harvard Stadium. Don't miss this Ivy League matchup tomorrow at noon before Red Sox pregame coverage on NESN. But Porcello certainly a little bit off. Even aside from the grand slam, he's walked 3 men in just 2 1/3 innings.
Yeah, we're talking about the launching pad that this place is at hand. I mean, obviously Scooter's ball goes out anywhere, but the one thing you want to stay away from at all costs is free passes, because at any given moment that ball can go over the fence, whether it's a miss hit or a bomb. But free passes create crooked numbers like you saw in the first.
Suarez 26 homers, 81 runs batted in. That one fired right through there at 92. Red Sox here in Cincinnati for 3 games and then home for the final week against Toronto and Houston. One and 2.
Yeah, again, just how valuable pitching is. I mean, they got 6 guys in their lineup with 20 or more homers, 2 with 30 or more, and just about every single one has 60 or more RBIs. If you were to put the numbers right next to the Red Sox numbers, I mean, they would blow the Red Sox out of the water. At the end of the day, you put our bullpen next to their bullpen, you put our starting ERA next to theirs, that'll be a big wow.
Cincinnati with a 5.18 ERA as a staff. Cut on and missed, and he got him. His second strikeout in the inning. He puts away Suarez, and they're 2 away.
You go back and look at the Red Sox record of just when they score 4 or more runs, how powerful that is on the win-loss record for the Red Sox. Then you go over here, you're going to need a minimum of 6 runs to win a ball game.
Every time a Sox pitcher strikes out a Reds batter, Lexus donates $50 to the Greater Boston Food Bank. So 2 gone for Schebler, 0 for 1. He has tapped out to first. He's hit 29 homers and driven in 63. He stalls that backhander by Moreland and gets the out at first base to retire the side. So Porcello pitches around a walk there. 4-1 Cincinnati. Section 12 on the lower concourse. Visit bidmc.org. Top 4, Johnny Gomes, Dave O'Brien, and Jemai Webster from Cincinnati. The Reds hold a 4-1 lead. And Mookie Betts looking to cut into that against Sal Romano, who has settled down the last couple of innings. Fouled away at the plate, strike 1 on Mookie, who struck out in the first.
Yeah, struck out at first on that big power slider, really the first one he threw of the game. Like I was talking about, he was going to go back and make a mental note of that, and hence the fact why he's jumping on the fastball right out of the gate. Doesn't want to see that thing again.
He fouled it off himself, so needing a moment. Well, Mookie coming in hot with a home run. 5 home runs in his last 12 games. Those bleachers in left are pretty darn close. Here comes the 0-1. And that's a strike. Back to that slider.
Seems like the big guys kind of settled down as was expected. So throwing a lot of early strikes. That is the name of the game for success.
He's coming off an 8-inning stint, a 2-1 victory over the Pirates. 8 innings, 5 hits, no runs, and he didn't walk anybody. So he can be very good. Into right field, on a run, Schebler lunges, can't get it. Bounces up against the fence. Betts into second base. He'll stop with a double. So a good start for the Red Sox here in the 4th inning. Their second 2-base hit off Romano.
Nice swing right there. You know he had slider in the back of his head, and what's a slider going to do? It's going to run away. So you can see him hanging over the outer half of the plate. Got himself a fastball, a little too much of the plate for an 0-2 pitch. And that's what you get when you're hanging out over there. You see that front hip kind of stay in a little bit longer and drive it in the gap.
To me, that's a perfect example of what separates Betts from every other right fielder. That play right there, Mookie Betts makes a catch on. He catches that.
That is 100% fact right there. And that, you're going to see a lot of things that are kind of in between the lines that's going to separate a first place ball club from a last place ball club.
There's Moreland, a sac fly to drive in the Red Sox run in the first inning.
You know, you can go back too to where when Billy Hamilton stole second and ended up getting thrown out, and you're looking at a first place club or even a playoff game, you got first and third, one out. All you need is a sac fly. You end up stealing the base, getting thrown out. Now you got 2 outs to take away that free RBI for the hitter. In a big game, a first place club, that is a catastrophe to happen. But when you're in last place, you can run wild all you want.
Nobody out. Mookie on at second. And that'll be a ball. 2-0. Toronto leading the Yankees 2-1 fourth inning. Here's Cincinnati as a 3-run lead. He'll lay off ball 3. Moreland in need of a big night. Has an RBI, is 72nd so far. Well, the Red Sox are 19-5 in his last 24 games with a hit. In here could make it 4-2. Taking all the way and down the heart for a strike.
You'll see the defense right there with the second baseman way back and the shortstop playing right behind Mookie. So in reality, Mookie, the shortstop, that's a blind spot because you can't turn your head right there. So you do have to stay a little close so you don't know if he's going to sneak in for that back pick.
He takes ball 4. Good take there. Third walk by Romano. First and second for the Red Sox. Nobody out. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox tickets, from bleachers to boxes, all with a 200% guarantee. Treat yourself for someone special with tickets to a game. Visit aceticket.com now or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Barnhart out for a conversation.
In this situation right here for Vasquez, you got to think what I thought when I was hitting is, what is the worst case scenario? I always go worst case scenario to best case scenario, because worst case scenario is going to affect the ball club, obviously. So worst case here is a double play, and that's exactly what the pitcher is going to try and do, is get you something to roll over, something that you can just have to get around, keep the ball on the ground. So in your head, you got to think, you got to elevate and get a pitch you can drive.
In there for a strike. And I say this only because we have seen one turn this season. The worst case here for me is a triple play.
And you guys have. Wow.
Yeah, I've seen one this year. They are so infrequent. The Orioles have turned 2 this year.
Yeah.
Devers on deck. Betts at second, Moreland at first. Stopped by Barnhart. No advance by the runners.
And the Red Sox runners are going to have to stay light on their feet. I mean, that slider that he's showcasing is a lot of power. At any given moment, Tucker can go down for the block and it could spin right off his chest protector. So hop, get a good secondary and keep your eye on the ball. We have seen a pass ball already.
2 on and nobody out. Red Sox down 4-1, but pressing the matter here against Romano and the Reds. Bounding ball foul. Romano was with the Reds back in April, but he got hit hard. Spent most of June and July in the minor leagues. Then he came back very strong. And on August 25th against the Pirates, he struck out the first 6 batters he faced. It's a new modern record for the Cincinnati Reds. So he certainly has ability. His last 6 starts, as mentioned, he's been really good.
I mean, you mentioned, I mean, the stuff is there. High velocities, throwing a curveball for a strike, slider's a power slider. It's all there, but, you know, when you're facing big league hitters, you got to be on top of your game.
1-2 to Vasquez, who's been cooking. Shot in right center field. That's into the alley. Betts is around to score. That goes all the way to the fence. Marlin will be held at third. It's a double for Vasquez as the throw comes in. A leaping play by Barnhart. And the Red Sox have runners at second and third with a run in. And Vasquez hit a bullet.
Vasquez did hit a bullet right there. I had it on my mind. He had it on his mind. You got to get underneath the ball a little bit, have a line drive swing on a line drive pitch. That's hung right there. He gets up and around it. Ground ball to third, double play. Worst case scenario right there. Boom. Shoots it in the gap, gets himself an RBI, and doesn't have to slide into the slip and slide at second.
It's a great looking swing,
isn't it?
Short, gets there quick.
Well, we were talking about Mookie Betts and that big even number of 100. This guy's climbing that even number of a 300 batting average. When your catcher hits 300, whew.
Now Rafael Devers doubled his first time, but lifted his foot off the bag after sliding in very close to second base, and off balance, picked up the foot, and he was tagged out. His runners at second and third, nobody out. Down he goes. That one right past the shoes, and the count 1-1 on Rafael.
So they're going infield back right here. That's what's going to happen with no outs and having the lead right here. You're even going to see Joey Votto play way back because it's a lefty, and Devers can't buggy whip some balls down there. So they are allowing just a ground ball to score a run, which is going to bring the deficit down to 1. So this is a pretty easy RBI for Devers.
So as a hitter, you're looking to put the ball in play. Left-hand hitter, you want to hit it to the right side. So that's your philosophy. These first couple of swings he's taken, though, makes it look like he wants to hit it 500 feet.
Yeah, and that's kind of the nature of the beast, of stepping foot in this ballpark. But at the end of the day, if you can get on top of the ball, that's a plus. If you go under it a little bit, that's the center, which you can create a line drive for multiple RBIs. Under it all the way, but you want to start from top to bottom with a runner on third, less than 2 outs.
And a block by Barnhart. 2-2.
And it's similar. This is kind of the game within the game. It's a lot different from starting on top and going to the bottom. When Vasquez was up at the plate, he starts at the top. That's a double play when he was there. So he had to start at the bottom and go to the top. Situation turns, runners in scoring position versus the double play threat. Now you go top to bottom.
Romano with a 2-2. Got a piece of it. Jackie Bradley on deck. Now for the second time, the Red Sox have Brandon Workman throwing in the bullpen. Rick Porcello's hitting spot is 2 batters away. And the Red Sox are rallying. They made it 4-2, looking for more. There's a drive. Deep right field. It is gone. Well, forget about driving in a run from third. How about driving in everybody? He jumped all over it. His 9th home run of the season. And the Red Sox come all the way back and then some. Devers, who has already doubled, now with a 3-run homer. Now they play the infield back. They were giving him 1 run, but they didn't want that to happen.
No, they sure didn't, and that's a beautiful job right there. When you're talking about a 94-mile-an-hour velocity, you will get on top, but he spins it for a slider right there. 88. It's going to hang right there. Devers doing an unbelievable job right there. Boom, 1 swing, taking the lead. Any given moment, you can put crooked numbers up in this building.
Yeah. Already seen a grand slam and a 3-run homer. For every Red Sox homer this season, Speedway donates $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Stop by your local Speedway, pick up any size fountain soda or Speedy Freeze for just 69 cents. Well, showing you the power in the bat, the youngster on a blast to right for a 3-run shot, and the Red Sox have quickly turned this game around.
And I'll tell you who's the most excited in the building is Rick Porcello. Because if they do get in a jam right there, you're probably going to end up with bases loaded, maybe a punch out, and then Rick Porcello doesn't get to the plate with bases loaded and 1 out, and you are going to have to go to your bench. Porcello looks up 4. He's been throwing the ball well ever since, but you got to go with a pinch hit right there.
Ground ball by Jackie Bradley, diving stab. Gennett throwing to first, and he got him. Outstanding play by the second baseman. Took an outstanding play to rob Jackie Bradley of a base hit.
This is the proud owner of a brand new scooter after his 4-homer game. Grand slam tonight. I also got a glove. Check it out. Joey Votto over there. He can scoop a lot as well.
And the home run by Devers was his first home run since August 19th. And it traveled 394 feet. So Porcello batting with the bases empty, but now he's in front 5-4. Puts it in play, backing up Suarez. And he'll get him at first base. 2 down. Xander Bogaerts will be next. Stay tuned for Red Sox Final, presented by Plainridge Park Casino. TC and Jim recap Benintendi's homecoming tonight and update the score across the American League. Xander with a base hit. He's also flied out to right field.
You see Bogaerts too, taking his time, stepping out, doing a little something, maybe tie your shoe, and that's the strategy of giving Rick Porcello a drink of water, something. You know, you'll take a pitch or two, allow your pitcher to kind of get his feet underneath him. Obviously not accustomed to running to first or even having a bat in his hand. So sometimes you got to take one for the team, and that's what Bogey did right there, taking his time and taking that first pitch.
Especially on a very warm night here in Cincinnati. So 5-4 Red Sox here in the 4th. Pedroia on deck. Going to be a great feeling for Devers. It's been some time. It's been over a month in between home runs. He crushed it. It's going to be a load off his shoulders. But we saw what he can do.
Yeah, we did see what he can do. And I mean, obviously, you go back to his first double, a hiccup on the slide. First double, boom, shoots it down the left field line. Next at bat, slider out front, boom, hits it down the right field line. Got a young guy at 20 years old, power line to line. Pretty impressive. But where he stands right there with that home run, that gave him a little bump on his average. Now he's sitting north of 300 at 301. Granted, his homers kind of took a little drought, but he has still been getting his hits.
And the 3-2 on the way to Bogaerts. Fouled at the plate. Let's go back to September of 2015. Since then, the Red Sox against the National League are 30-10. Really dominated the National League. 2 down and the 3-2. And he walks him. Well, they do have Hernandez warming up in their bullpen. CVS Health investing $50 million over 5 years to extend their commitment to helping people lead tobacco-free lives and move us one step closer toward a tobacco-free generation. Learn more at cvshealth.com/be-the-first.
Tell you what, in these National League games in a ballpark like you're seeing right here in Cincinnati, wow, how fast things can change. I mean, we're talking about watching Brandon Workman warming up in the bullpen. One batter later, the Sox had the lead, and now their bullpen's warming up with their pitching coach on the mound. You can't sleep here. You can't take your foot off the gas, and even when you're behind, you can't help but continue to try and chip away.
Mac Jenkins, their pitching coach. Brian Price is the manager. And these cold hard facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light, career leaders in batting average in interleague play, and Dustin Pedroia is 4th right now at 337. That's all hitters in the history of interleague games. On the night, a walk, and he's grounded to short.
Saw Mike Piazza on that list right there. Funny story, when I took my kid to Cooperstown, he saw Mike Piazza stuff up on the wall, and that instantly became his favorite player because he thought it was pizza.
Mikey Pizza.
Mikey Pizza. I need a Mikey Pizza jersey. I said, well, we'll work on the reading, but we'll still get you a Mikey Pizza jersey.
Hit the ball for a right-hand batter as hard to the opposite field as anybody I ever saw.
Unbelievable. There's some great scouts in our game, some great historian scouts that have picked a lot of guys. But man, he definitely slipped through the cracks. This guy was the last pick.
Line drive, but a foul ball. And the ball attendant had a little difficulty with it.
Yeah. He's probably a Benintendi fan still, though. Maybe Benny give him some tips out there when he comes home in the offseason.
Yep, his hometown. He's on deck. 2 down in the 0-1. And he drops it in there at 85. That slider again for a strike. Romano, a native New Yorker. Rooted hard for the Yankees growing up. Really followed the Red Sox-Yankee rivalry very closely. Went to many series. There's a tapper. It's going to be a fair ball. Barnhart spinning, throwing, and got him at first base. I think on a healthy knee, Pedroia gets there.
Yeah, it looked like he was barking a little bit.
Rafael Devers, for the first time in about a month, spanks one out of here. And the Red Sox turn the game around, and they're out in front 5-4.
And icons that fuel New England's passion for sports on and off the field. You can help the Boston Globe sports team choose this year's winners. Go to
You by Ace Ticket through 3. He's allowed 4 runs, and he's going to hit a batter as he gets Adam Duvall with a pitch. He's had a funky night out there. 3 walks, the grand slam, now a hit batsman.
Yeah, it's pretty rare right here. First pitch of the inning, 89 miles an hour, obviously trying to sink it into his hands, but pretty big miss right there. See if he can pitch out of some trouble right here.
Leadoff man is on twice tonight. John Farrell has had Brandon Workman throwing in a bullpen. By the way, the Reds have claimed John Farrell's son Luke off of waivers from the Los Angeles Dodgers. He is wearing the number 52, same as his father wore as a major leaguer and still wears as a manager. And Reds manager Brian Price says that he is going to try to get Luke into a game this weekend. Tagged into left center. Jackie Bradley covering the ground and puts away Barnhart for out number 1.
I think if Luke doesn't get into a game in these 3 games, it would be a crime. I mean, there's nothing better that, you know, to be able to watch the father and son. Obviously, both pitchers. John obviously doing his thing on the mound and in his coaching. Didn't really have too many opportunities to watch him pitch. And where the Reds kind of sit in the standings, I think it would be a pretty classy move to let him toe that rubber in front of his dad.
Carl Willis coming out. Got Luke and John at breakfast this morning and then walked to the ballpark. And let's go down to Jemai Webster for more on this story. Jemai?
Yeah, Dave, baseball is in the Farrell family, to be sure. John's father was also in baseball. John, of course, played in the major leagues, coaching for the Boston Red Sox, and now Luke, a pitcher in this Red system. He told me that he really grew up around Fenway Park, able to watch guys like Josh Beckett, Kurt Schilling, guys who were playing for the Red Sox at the time that John was the pitching coach for them. And he told me this is a really cool experience, but once the baseball's up and thrown and once he's out on the mound, he said that he's going to realize there's a really good major league hitter out in front of him. He knows he has a job to do, but he's also wearing number 52 thanks in part to Rich Stowe, the senior director of clubhouse operations. He knew John wore 52 during his days as a major league pitcher, and he gave him that as a note. John said it was a really classy move by the organization to do that.
Indeed. This is Zach Vinci pinch hitting for Romano, a starter for Cincinnati, so he's done. Runner at first base and one away. Runner goes, and a lunge and a foul. They had a play on. The ball will have to hit on back to first.
That's your standard hit and run right there, and you'll see that a lot off little handsy guy coming off the bench, not saving their power guys come off the bench for later. So this is a guy just kind of put it in play and doing anything they can to protect a double play.
How about this? David Price is up pretty early in the ball game, and so is Robbie Scott. We thought we might see Price pitching in the Baltimore series, but Chris Sale went 8 innings the other night, got that 300th strikeout. This one popped in the air to right field. Mookie Betts heading into foul territory, lunging but can't get to it. It's off into the seats. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on Vinci.
So the interesting thing about Price warming up right now with Scott can come in and get Hamilton for the lefty-lefty matchup, or they turn him around, put him on the right side, Hamilton being a switch hitter. But as it sits, if the score sits right here, you can look at Price almost finishing the game.
Wouldn't that be fascinating?
Yeah, I mean, he could start in the 5th and hand the ball to Craig. And that's the weapon that that the Sox are gonna have down there with the extended innings that Price can give you.
1-2 and a wave and a miss. He struck him out. 93-mile-an-hour fastball to put away the pinch hitter.
Yeah, and that's Price, the manager over there, trying to give the kid a little help early on and putting the hit and run on. It's just your standard elevated fastball right there. Hardest pitch to hit, hardest pitch to lay off, and he learned that.
Every time a Sox pitcher strikes out a Reds batter, Lexus donates $50 to the Greater Boston Food Bank. Two-way Hamilton is already 2 for 2 in this one. He's actually been caught stealing, which doesn't happen very often. He goes up the middle, sliding stab. Xander Bogaerts goes to the bag. He gets the out with Pedroia racing right in front of him. And that retires the side. So good job by Porcello pitching around to hit batsman. Brought to you by Cumberland Farms. Come to your coffee senses with Cumberland Farms. Just 99 cents all day, every day. Eastern Bank. Join us for good. Your New England Audi dealers and a 2018 Audi Q5. And by Old Dominion, the official freight carrier of Major League Baseball and the Boston Red Sox. Great to have you with us tonight here in Cincinnati. Red Sox on top 5-4. Top half of the fifth inning. The first pitching change. Cincinnati makes it. This is Ariel Hernandez out of their bullpen, his 17th appearance, and a high earned run average. But he's a strikeout guy. Benintendi will test him first. Andrew tonight has walked and flied to center.
You see another high velocity, and that's what's going on right now in the Reds bullpen. High velocity, looks good, similar to the starter, but yet just hasn't found their niche yet, how to get big league hitters out.
High fly, straight center. Hamilton back, still back. He's under though. And to the track, he'll make the catch. Benintendi just under it a bit. He's 0 for 2. And Betts will be next. Mookie's the guy who started the fourth inning rally, as he has started so many. With a double, he scored. Moreland walked, he scored. Vasquez doubled for an RBI, he scored when Devers cracked the 3-run homer that went nearly 400 feet. So the Red Sox have knocked out the starter, Big Sal Romano, who wanted so desperately to pitch against the Red Sox. Big Yankee fan that he is, but probably did not enjoy it as much as he had hoped.
I'm sure he had some big hopes coming in. I tell you what, though, his stuff's going to play. Maybe 1 or 2 more starts. Go into the offseason, kind of iron some things out, go to Goodyear for the spring training, and his stuff 100% should be in the rotation. But there's a lot of other things that happens more than just stuff.
I like that fastball, but he was only out there for 4 innings, gave up 5 runs. And that's going to miss for a ball from Hernandez.
Similar to Hernandez here. I mean, if you're to look and say, okay, this guy throws an 87-mile-an-hour wipeout slider. His fastball is going to sit at 98 miles an hour. Would you think he's going to have a 6.3 ERA?
I would think not. 98 there.
98 right after the slider.
But it's 3-1. I was talking to some of the Cincinnati broadcasters about the Red Sox in the hours before the game, and all of them wanted to see Mookie Betts. To short, Cozart will hoover it up and get him. 2 up and 2 down. Stay on top of the latest Red Sox news with NESN's free Red Sox text alerts. From breaking news to in-game alerts. To sign up, text Red Sox to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. Moreland's had a productive night with a sacrifice fly to drive in a run. He's also walked and scored. Still looking to bust out of an 0 for 15. What'd you like most about playing in Cincinnati?
This ballpark, being able to you know, call this place home and hit here. But coming from the Tampa organization to here, I mean, it was just a big slap in your face, the history of the game. When you're talking, this place was the first ever night game. The Big Red Machine.
Up the middle, but that's exactly where they have him positioned. And low throw, but gets him to retire the side. And the Sox will go in order. Time now to turn it over to Mark and Adam for the Mid-Fifth Studio Show, guys. 4. John Farrell has elected to take Rick Porcello out of the ball game, so he will not be able to get a win tonight. He only goes 4. He's going to give the ball to David Price, and as Johnny mentioned, might see him in the game the rest of the evening.
Yeah, you can see they call that a little piggyback trick, you know, kind of like someone hopping on the other person's back, and 4 and 4 and hand the ball off to Craig as it sits right now.
Now, Price tossed 2 perfect innings with 2 strikeouts and relief on Sunday at Tampa Bay. His first appearance since coming off the DL on the 14th of September. Looked very sharp through 21 pitches, 15 for strikes. It'll be fascinating to see how this and his new role plays out the rest of the way and into October. Remember now, the Red Sox have already qualified for postseason play. As John Farrell said, they have other fish to fry. They want the division. Zach Cozart, first man, and he's doubled and scored and also grounded out to third, 1 for 2.
I mean, being on the visiting side, never wanting to face David Price, but majority of the time when you get into the bullpen in the 5th inning, it's kind of that big belly guy I like to mention. You know, it's kind of the out of shape guy, you know, someone kind of just to clog it up. You see David Price running out of the bullpen in the 5th inning. Kind of take a deep breath and go, oh boy.
Votto on deck, and then Scooter Gennett. 0-2, lofted toward right center. Coming on, Jackie Bradley. 1 away in the red 5th. And Sox fans, for the final home games, you can bring the whole family to Fenway with a family 4-pack. You get 4 tickets, 4 Fenway Franks, 4 fountain sodas, all courtesy of Aramark. Go to redsox.com/family 4-packs to get this great deal right now. Seeing a high number of Sox fans in the crowd here in Cincinnati. As mentioned, they have not been drawing well, but decent crowd tonight. That's up the middle for a base hit by guess who? Joey Votto on base for the 2nd time. That's his first hit.
Joey Votto, to me, probably the biggest kept secret to the average sports fan in the game. He can flat out rake, and he's kind of hidden out here in Cincinnati, and obviously his team's not in the standings that he wants. Choke up, simple, back knee bent, line drive right up the middle. I don't know how many at-bats he has off Price. I can't imagine many, but that's a lefty-lefty matchup, and Joey just goes boom, fires it right up the middle.
He's got a great eye, outstanding power. Last year in the 2nd half, he batted .408 for the 2nd half of the season.
He's got 10 years. He just got his 10-year this month, actually, of service time. And he's knocking on the door of some absolute greats of his numbers that he's put up in his 10-year stint.
Scooter Gennett here. He's clubbed the grand slam. He's also taken ball 4. Floats that to center. Bradley coming on, makes the catch. Thought about gunning back to first. Votto goes sliding back in. Over that 10-year span, since he became a big leaguer, would you say that he's the best hitter in baseball?
He is 100% the best hitter in the National League. The only one that he can go heads up with in that 10-year stint is Miguel Cabrera. When you're talking about his numbers, Joey Votto in the last 10 years is 1st in on-base percentage, 1st in walks, 2nd in batting average to Miguel, 2nd OPS to Miguel, 2nd in runner scoring position to Miguel. So it is hands in hands right there. He is definitely the National League guy, and you could argue that he would take a step up due to his Gold Glove defense over Miguel. So I think there's a very good argument to where you can say Joey Votto is the best player the last 10 years. Obviously Mike Trout, Correa, Lindor coming in, but they don't have the 10 years of experience.
Suarez the batter. Son a career .313 batting average for Votto. Came into this one hitting .316 for this season. But it's the on-base percentage, it's the power, the slugging, the RBIs. You put it all together, as complete a hitter as you're going to find. There's a high fly into left field, but it hangs up. Benintendi coming in. He's got it. And that retires the side. 1 man left. the end of 5, the Sox have a 1-run lead. Seven Red Sox world champions. Game number 153. Sox lost to the Blue Jays 6-1. Russ Adams with a grand slam. He drove in 5 for Toronto. And guess what? The Blue Jays have a 4-1 lead over the Yankees now in the bottom of the 6th.
Up there in Baseball North, Rogers Center.
Here the Sox in front 5-4. As we go to the 6th inning, Christian Vasquez, he's contributed tonight with an RBI double. He's gone 1 for 2. And he has been ripping it in 8 of his last 10. Batting .377 since July 29th.
Now the interesting thing with this being the 6-hole hitter, when you're in the National League, you start to pay attention to everything. So the 6, which is going to tell you that the pitching spot is going to be up in 3 spots from now. So depending on the situation that's going to happen determines left, right for the pinch hitter, or with the lead, we're going to see if David Price can find a helmet and a bat.
Rick Porcello pitched 4 innings. He will not factor in the decision tonight. And the 3-0 to the Sox catcher, taking all the way for a strike. And the next one in the series is tomorrow afternoon, late afternoon, 4 o'clock. Eduardo Rodriguez against Robert Stevenson. Nothing but rookies being thrown at the Red Sox this weekend for Cincinnati.
Good old-fashioned tryout.
That's exactly what it is. Open auditions. When you're 66 and 87 and long since buried in last place, you can do that. And you have to do that.
I'm not going to lie, being on the other side, it's tough to face those guys from kind of having the naked eye. You're like, oh, they're in last place, you know, da-da-da. But, man, you don't know. You got nothing on the pitchers. You got no reports. You don't know how they're going to pitch. Obviously, the starter, you look up, he's got 98 miles an hour with a washout slider.
And be handled by Hernandez. He'll flip on to get the out.
And you're going to ask yourself, why are these guys in last place? Bring in this guy. This guy throws 98 with a curveball and a slider. He's got a 6 ERA. I wonder who's hitting this guy. But it's been a tough year for him. But I tell you what, they got some velocity. They can straighten that out. They should be in good shape.
Devers working on a really big night. A double and a 3-run homer so far. He put the Red Sox into the lead with a deep fly into the bleachers in right field in the 4th inning. A 3-run homer. Red Sox were down after 1 inning tonight, 4-1. They have made a habit of coming back on people.
Yeah, they definitely don't quit, and that's obviously a testament to their record in the extra inning games, like you've probably seen way too much of. But what you haven't seen are the wins in the extra inning games.
Gennett up and over. 2 up and 2 down. Yes, I think we have all had our fill, Johnny, of those extra inning games, those 15 and 16 and 19 inning games. I think the other side of that, though, is they've ended generally so well for the Red Sox.
Well, I took a little hiatus and I went to Japan to kind of study abroad, if you will. And the first thing I learned over there is a 12-inning tie.
12-inning tie. What would that make you feel like?
You know what? I was devastated in the beginning because I was like, under no circumstances someone leave a big league ballpark without a win or a loss. But like I mentioned, to see the strategy from the 9th to the 12th, and it's not the strategy of the pinch hitting for the pitcher, it's a strategy of when to bring your closer in. Obviously, if it's top 12, you know, there's not going to be, that's it, you max out. When you use your lefty, when you use your righty, when you pinch hit, when you pinch run, real interesting.
Bradley well hit, deep center. Hamilton racing back to the track and up into the fence. He makes the play. Nice running catch to retire JBJ, and the Sox go in order. Baseball bullpen ERA leaders, and the Red Sox #2 behind Cleveland at 3.08, with the Indians a minuscule 2.79. Hard to believe that anybody could be better than the Red Sox bullpen the way it's performed, particularly in these extra inning games, but the Indians do have the edge there. That and many other categories in baseball. They've won 27 of their last 28 games. Line, and Pedroia can't make the play on the soft line drive. Betts will scoop it up. Be a base hit for Schebler.
Base hit for Schebler, base hit for Joey Votto on first pitch fastball. See if David Price starts to go with some wrinkles. They said if you're going to be jumping on my fastball like that, you have to mix it up. No harm, no foul, just token little single. PD almost snagged it for a web gem.
So it'll send up Adam Duvall. He has flied out and been hit by a pitch. The ball grew up in nearby Kentucky and Louisville. I called a lot of college basketball over the years in Louisville.
I did have to learn that long wool. I came in with my California accent and I about got ran out of that place.
I know that feeling. You got to know how to say it there, or they will let you know. You're talking about ties in Japan.
Sure.
And when we went to the commercial break, you said that if you tied, you got half a win?
Half a win.
In the standings.
Yep. They just split it. Half a win. So you'd be 85.5 when the game was over. And if you had another extra inning game that went to 12 and you didn't win, that would create another win. 2 halves make a whole, obviously. So ironically, that's how it worked, and it worked out.
Did you find yourself after a while kind of liking that idea that the games didn't go 18, 19 innings?
You know, I did, for the simple fact if I played with some guys that really took one for the team and are normally 1 inning guys but just ran out and had to go 4 or 5 inning guys because you run out, and then believe it or not, they never came back to the big league because they literally blew out on the mound.
That had to be a mad scramble when a game was tied going into the bottom of the 12th. That must have been a sight.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. You know, I mean, you're obviously up there, you know, swinging for the fences for the guaranteed walk-off, or do you play the small ball defense? The strategy from 9-12 was amazing to watch.
Red Sox in front here 5-4. No ties here. Red Sox have played 18 extra inning games, winning 50. Swing and a miss, and Duvall down on strikes as Price fans him, 1 away in the 6th inning. Meanwhile, in Toronto, Goins has hit a grand slam, and the Blue Jays have opened up an 8-1 lead over the Yankees. 8-1. We'll keep you posted, of course, on that. Red Sox trying to gain ground tonight and take a 4-game lead in the division. A long way to go yet.
Some grand slams in the air.
Yeah. Seen one in this game.
Yeah.
By Scooter Gennett of Cincinnati. Barnard with a walk and a fly out. He's a switch hitter, 26 years old. You mentioned that they've signed him to a 4-year extension, and they really love his defense. He's made only 1 error all season. He leads the National League by throwing out 44% of base stealers. So very good behind the plate.
Don't know the guy much, but I mean, my gosh, what a baseball name he's working with in Tucker. That's beautiful. Good show beard going on right there. Hitting in the bottom of the lineup. That'll change with that pressure taking him off him with that deal. So congratulations to him.
Patrick Kiblahan on deck. (5-4) Sox. They were down 4-1 early. Price on for Porcello. Went the first 4. Gave up 4 runs, 4 hits. His command was a bit off tonight. 3 walks and he hit a batter. Hard ground foul. And don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. TC and Jim will break it all down. You'll hear from Porcello and from John Farrell. Whatever, whenever, wherever, who but WB Mason. Scott Schebler on at first base. Price would love a ground ball right at his shortstop here. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. And in there for strike 3. 95, just about on the black to fan him.
Yeah, and that says a lot too. He had that fastball that he buggy whipped down there for a foul ball, and he goes right back in there. See the pitch 4 and then pitch 5. So I'm not doing the in-out game. I trust my fastball, my velocity's there, right back in your kitchen.
Amica Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. Back-to-back Ks from Price. Givlahan announced as the pinch hitter. Does have a little bit of power. He's hit 8 homers. Asher Wojciechowski now throwing in their bullpen. This is a Reds roster that can throw some names at you.
Boy, can they throw some names at you. You could just go on. I mean, there's a lot of vowels. This could be a Wheel of Fortune nightmare.
So far, you and I have both been perfect, Johnny.
That is a fact. Coming into here, though, I thought I was going to get a Rosetta Stone out or something, get some help. I-E-I-O-U, sometimes Y and E.
Back to school.
Yeah.
The speedy Hamilton on deck. And the 2-1. He was late. 96 with the four-seamer.
And he ran that one on the outer half right there. He's putting his fastball on both sides of the plate, staying out of the middle. Call that last name hip to hip. His last name's going to start at his bottom left hip, go all the way up and over his numbers, down to his right hip.
Or as they call him here, Wojo.
Yeah, with that last name, you're going to need a nickname for sure. If that's my last name, I don't learn how to spell it till 4th grade.
2-2, and down he goes, strike 3. Wow, that's a tour de force for Price. After the base hit, he strikes out 3 in a row.
Let's see if he gets.
Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Well, Johnny, as we went to break, you were wondering if David Price would get an at bat, and here's your answer. Here he comes up to swing to begin the 7th inning with a 5-4 lead. He's 2 for 47 in his career.
I think this is a great example of one of my biggest pet peeves is when people compare golf to baseball. Because David Price is a heck of a golfer, and he is not a heck of a hitter.
But he bloops this one into left field. That's going to drop down for a base hit. Not a heck of a hitter, you say. There he is, on with a base hit to begin the 7th.
Holy cow, that's about as weird as a W starting with a D right there. Look at that. Leg kick. Ooh. He's yelling, sit, sit, sit. Sit, baby, sit, baby, sit, baby. Good for him. Tell you what, at the end of the day, it's nice to see that man smile. It's going to go a long way for David Price.
His first hit in 7 years.
Yeah. Good for you, David Price.
And here's Xander Bogaerts. Xander with a base hit. He's also flied to right and taken ball 4. Remember Chris Sale earlier this season in Philadelphia with a double. And he had the exact same expression as David Price has on his face.
That's pretty cool.
So Red Sox with a base runner. Wojciechowski out of the bullpen. He's been a starter in the minor leagues, working out of the bullpen now for the Reds. Double play ball. Gennett to Cozart. On to first, they turn 2. So 2 down in the 7th. 4-6-3. They'll send up Dustin Pedroia. Attention, Red Sox Nation. There's a reason why the Red Sox and the rest of America run on Dunkin'. Dunkin's iced coffee is consistently smooth and delicious. Dunkin' Donuts coffee #1 in New England. The Boston Red Sox run on Dunkin'. Price getting the congratulations after the base hit.
Yeah, I never got that ovation after a single.
Well, you never went 7 years between hits.
It's a great point, but I did get that ovation when I came off the mound pitching in Atlanta against the Yankees. So I guess that goes hand in hand.
That's right. Pedroia 0 for 2. He's also taking ball 4. Line to right field. Schebler right there, though, to make the play. Side retired. We're in the middle of the 7th inning in Cincinnati, and the Red Sox have a 1-run lead in Game 1. To low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Ford trucks built Ford Tough, the official truck of the Red Sox. McDonald's, any McCafe muffin with any size coffee, just $1.99. Digital Federal Credit Union, see what DCU can save you. And by New England VA Healthcare, serving those who served. Visit Nesson.com/veteran to learn more. Now Billy Hamilton will lead off here in the 7th inning. He's gone 2 for 3. as he lifts a routine fly ball to Mookie Betts on the first pitch. And one man gone. Here's Romano's pitching line has started for the Reds tonight, brought to you by Lexus, inviting you to see, hear, feel, and experience amazing. For Big Sal, it was a short night. Big Yankee fan, he went 4, giving up 5. He also walked 4 men. So not exactly what he was dreaming of when he dreamt of facing the Red Sox. He's seen the Sox and Yankees play several times at Fenway and many times at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have liked some more innings on the mound and a couple more zeros underneath the innings, but not tonight. Probably going to be a while before he faces the Red Sox again. Not too many opportunities with the interleague play.
Yeah, tonight was the first time since 2014 these two ball clubs had met. One away for Cozart. Cozart's a guy who's had a lot of injury trouble in the past. Missed most of 2015 with a knee injury. Lost about 21 games last year with knee issues, but for the most part this year he's been healthy. And he's about to become a free agent, the shortstop. So his timing might be good. 23 home runs, hitting around 300.
Yeah, I think his phone's going to be ringing. We were in Cleveland over there in Ohio, same state, talking about a Jay Bruce who's going to be becoming a free agent. Both came up with Cincinnati, and they're going to end up somewhere else, I'd imagine. But good job for the Reds organization drafting these two ball players.
Looping liner, Bradley can't get to it. It drops in for a base hit. Second hit tonight for Cozart.
If any of our listeners were curious to know the name of Zach Cozart's donkey,
people are inquiring what the name is.
that is a fact. So was I. Named after a famous cartoon, one of his son's favorite, in Donald Duck.
Named the donkey Donald Duck?
I think they went with just Donald. So maybe Donald Cozart, named after Donald Duck.
Gotcha.
So a donkey's named after a duck.
If Daddy gives you a donkey, you can name it anything you want. You know, all bets are off. Here's Votto. He's walked, struck out, and singled. Back in 2012, Votto signed a 10-year deal with options that could keep him here in Cincinnati through 2024. He runs the count to 2-0. We showed you Addison Reed up in the bullpen for the Red Sox. Price pitching into his 3rd inning. Rick Porcello went 4 innings tonight. And that's off the plate.
Yeah, I was mentioning Joey Votto, probably the biggest kept secret. Obviously not because of his contract, but just being here, central, not in the standings that he liked, but the numbers that he's run is unbelievable. I mean, there's only 19 people in the history of the game that's done what he's done the first 10 years, and that would be 313 average, at least 221 homers, and at least 730 RBIs, and at least a 960 OPS as an average.
And he takes a 4-pitch walk. That's his 129th walk of the season. Walks for the 2nd time in this one. Tomorrow at 3, don't miss Red Sox first pitch presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. TC and Jim break it all down and talk about the Red Sox postseason roster decisions.
Yeah, and there he is right there. I mean, those numbers that I just run off, the other people on that list are names like Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams, Frank Thomas, Willie Mays. Only 19 players in the history of the game have had a career as a minimum of what Joey's done his first 10.
You mentioned Lou Gehrig. This guy now digging in. Scooter Gennett has hit his 4th grand slam of the season. It's all by himself. He did that in the 1st inning. The Red Sox as a team have not hit one this year, but Gennett and Gehrig are the only players with a 4-homer game and 4 or more grand slams in a season.
That's absolutely remarkable, considering this dude on the last day of spring training did not have a job.
Connected a grand slam off Porcello in the first inning.
That's it. Up and in. Too much of the plate. Guy's got a swing going on right now. Loving to drive in the run with one swing of the bat.
First and second, one away. He thought about it. That's a strike. In fact, just to go back on that note for a minute, Gennett and Gehrig, the only players with a 4-homer game and a 4 grand slam season in any season. Gehrig didn't do both of those in the same season. He had a 4-homer game in 1932 and the 4 grand slams 2 years later. This guy's done it in one season.
Wow. Lou Gehrig. Is that right, Lou Gehrig?
Yeah. Not too shabby.
You want a little more inside info? That's the name of Joey Votto's dog.
Is Gehrig?
Yes.
You know more about Reds animals than anybody alive.
When I was here for 3 years, I was the clubhouse zookeeper.
Tends to be a little zoo-like when you're around Johnny. A swing and a miss. Down he goes, strike 3, and a big K for Price. Here comes John Farrell.
Tell you what, 95 miles per hour, top of the zone, still on the plate, great frame job. Wow, handing that ball to John Farrell, he's got to be feeling good. 1 for 1 at the plate, too. Good job, David Price. Nice to see you smile, bud.
Well, he comes off. Addison Reed coming on, and will return to Cincinnati right after this. Get the final out, first and second, and 2 away. Red Sox holding to a 5-4 lead. Suarez, the batter, he's gone 0 for 3, and he'll look at a strike. Bit of a generous call. He'll certainly take it. As you look at Reed's numbers, 23 appearances, 3.92 ERA. More fine work out of the bullpen by David Price. 2 2/3 scoreless. These 2 runners do belong to the left-hander. Here's Jackie Bradley on the move, coming on strong. He will get there to run it down. Burst of speed, 2 men left. And the Red Sox still on top after 7, 5-4. Old Dominion.
And this is it right here. I've been watching Benintendi, and I've been watching Dever swing it from the left side. Neat kick, get your hands through. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Right in front of the left fielder, just enough. And the Swiss Army knife, Brock Holt loves it.
Base hit for Price. Old Dominion, the official freight carrier of Major League Baseball and the Boston Red Sox. It was only the 6th hit of the ball game for the Red Sox. Cincinnati was 7, 5-4. Sox have the lead. Go to the 8th inning. Benintendi leading off. His homecoming tonight. He's walked, flied out again. Last time very deep. Took Hamilton to the warning track in center. It'll be a great weekend for Andrew. Born here in Cincinnati, grew up just about a 15-minute drive from this ballpark. Raised in the suburb of Madera. Not only a great baseball player, as he chops that one to first base. Votto will underhand to the pitcher, who drops it. Wojciechowski had an out there, but he muffed it.
It's a good stop by Joey Votto, taking his time, stepping it. Great throw, but the pitcher just looked down at his footing, forgot to look at the ball, took his eye off the ball. Right there.
E1.
Definitely E1.
Benintendi was also a heck of a basketball player. He could really shoot. In his high school career at Madera, he scored 1,753 points. That's the school record. He made 183 pointers, averaging about 26 points a game.
It's a tough matchup for a quick pickup game of horse.
Don't let him get beyond that line out there. You got to go guard him.
Ooh.
We know he has some hops, some pretty serious leaping ability. We've seen that. Mookie Betts with a double tonight. He's gone 1 for 3. 8th inning, Red Sox leading by 1.
Tell you, we're talking how easy it is to put a crooked number up. Seems like the Sox have been in the driver's seat for a long time here with just a 1-run lead. Addison Reed coming down and closing the door, but at any given moment, could that have been a home run? Could that have blooped in? Sox need to kind of get back on board and put some gas down right here and get moving. Get a little separation, some insurance runs.
Mookie's really been driving the ball in recent games, in particular. During the Red Sox 11-3 stretch, he's hitting 300, but 18 RBIs and 11 extra base hits, including 5 homers.
Let's see if Benny maybe can get a stolen base for his people right here. 1-2 count, possible ball in the dirt. See what's going on.
Holding. Foul, that one in on the handle. Meanwhile, Toronto still leading the Yankees, bottom of the 8th inning in Canada, 8-1. Maybe a golden chance for the Red Sox to take a 4-game lead. This one in the top of the 8th. Moreland on deck. Benintendi at first. Nobody out. And a 1-2 to Mookie.
See if we can get one in the dirt right here. Good pitch to run on.
Again, not going. Benintendi has 19 stolen bases and 19 home runs. You like his chances of being in the 2020 club very soon.
And if you look at it, 2020, that's remarkable to hit, especially as a rookie. But I think that's just going to be his baseline coming up for next year and the following. I think you're just going to expect a 2020 out of him. There's that 1-2 slider in the dirt.
Yep, I think you've seen the beginning of a great career here. With that swing and those skills, that talent. You think about how much he has changed physically from last year to the beginning of this season. He got real serious. Fly to center field. Hamilton, though, underneath.
You can tag up.
Benintendi flirts with it, but not a great throw, but he'll hold at first base. And that is out number 1. Time for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's TC. TC, as always, thank you so much. Here's Moreland now. He's driven in a run with a sacrifice, walked and scored, and grounded to second base. You're talking about playing in Japan, which you did right at the end of your career. Did you enjoy it? Do you have a good time?
Yeah, I did. I considered I was a little different than most people that went over there. Most people go over there trying to make a career out of it because they can't really break into the big leagues, kind of the 4A player, if you will. But I went over there after about 12 years. Major League service time, and just kind of bumped into the World Series with Kansas City too. So 2 hands, 2 World Series, got my 10-year. So I kind of consider it like studying abroad. You graduate from college, you go for that 4-6 months overseas, maybe learn a language, see how things work over there. And that's what I wanted to do on the baseball side, was really just study the game and how big it is over there and just the different techniques and whatnot.
A great way to look at it, you know, as a life lesson. Throw back to first base. Benintendi will dive in safely. I really enjoyed the trip I took, about 10 or 12 years ago to Japan. One of the things I was fascinated to see was the regard that U.S. players are held in. Absolute superstars. And the Japanese baseball fan generally really loves American ball players and follows American baseball, Major League Baseball here in the States, incredibly closely.
Yeah, they sure do.
Have a great regard. Big swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-2 on Moreland.
I mean, if you break it down, so we got the WBC, been about 4 of them every 4 years now, and Japan is going to be 1, 2, or 3 every single year. So you can argue they're 1, 2, or 3 best baseball in the world. And then you look at Major League Baseball, which holds the best athletes of baseball in the world, how worldwide our game has gotten, but yet there's not that many Japanese players over here, Japanese born players.
Popped up. That's going to twist foul back out of play.
So the thing that really caught my eye was, as a ball club, they have arguably the best baseball and baseball team in the world if you go on the WBC. But individually, not too many of them can come over and play at the level here of Major League Baseball.
There have been some grand exceptions, of course. Ichiro probably number 1 with what he has done. 3,000 hits in the major leagues in the United States, and more hits than Pete Rose ever got between Japan and the major leagues here.
Like, the square mileage of Tokyo is about the same square mileage as Los Angeles. Los Angeles has 7 million people. Tokyo has 32 million people.
Yes.
And you could argue there's probably more Major League Baseball players from Southern California that have come to the big leagues than all of Japan that's come over here.
Moreland down hacking. He strikes out. 2 away. And Vasquez in next. Did you play in Japan a single game where you did not play in a dome?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. There's like they call them like farm fields. All dirt infield to all dirt outfield. The whole thing is dirt. Yeah, and you're like out in the country.
You take a train everywhere you went?
Bullet train, probably the coolest thing on the face of Earth.
Fast. Incredibly fast.
We cover like 1,500 miles in an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Very little airline travel.
Yep.
In Japanese baseball, and you didn't play as often. You didn't play as many days.
Yeah, and that was the other thing, which was different than here, is you had a day off a week. So you could argue, like over here, so maybe the National League has Monday off and the American League has Tuesday off. And that's going to take away when you have this argument. These guys have been on their feet for a long time. 20 consecutive starts, 25 consecutive starts. You got Joey Votto over here as one of 2 people in baseball who played every single game of the year. And the cool thing over there is the catcher is almost like a shortstop. He caught every single game because he got a day off a week. So you don't have to do the flip-flop of the day, night, this and that. The catcher, he was the catcher every single game.
Vasquez is doubled. He's gone 1 for 3 in this one. Runner at first base with 2 down. Sox up 5-4 in the 8th. Breaking ball popped him into right field. And Schebler will put that away to retire the side. Red Sox strand 1, still up 5-4. We are late here in Cincinnati. Don't go anywhere as we stay in the park. Leading 5-4 here in game 1. Bottom of the 8th inning. Here's our game summary brought to you by Xfinity. Porcello went the first 4. He allowed 4 earned runs. Then David Price came on for 2 2/3, and he shut down Cincinnati. Devers with a home run tonight, his first in about a month. Scooter Gennett with a grand slam, his 4th of the year. That's been all the scoring, though, for Cincinnati, and that happened in the first inning. And Scott Schebler will lead things off here. A trickler foul at home plate as Reed stays on. 23,463. It's one of the biggest crowds here at Great American Ballpark in some time.
You got to thank Benintendi for that. I'm sure they're gonna might give him a little kick. Brought his whole town.
Schebler's gone 1 for 3, a base hit. And he flies that one to center field, practically right at JBJ. 1 man gone here in the 8th. Time to check out the results of our Dunkin' Donuts poll question. If a player pinch hits in the middle of an at bat, should the original batter be credited with the result regardless of whether it's a hit or an out? And 89% of you think that's ridiculous. And I would agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and again, just showing how educated our listeners are. Good job, Nose. 89% of you, good job.
Adam Duvall has gone 0 for 2, and he's been hit by a pitch. Struck out for the 163rd time back in the 6th inning. So kind of a classic modern day slugger. A lot of strikeouts and some home runs. A sky high pop up. Devers in fair ground makes the grab. 2 fast outs. So a very good start to the inning by Reed.
And another kind of little twerk of the National League here is Addison Reed coming out to get the last out of last inning. Has to sit on the bench, cool off, and then go back out. So that's just kind of how the National League, you see a lot of relievers finish an inning off or do multiple innings because they try and get that extra inning out of you before the pinch hitting, before your spot comes up.
Barnhart is 0 for 2. Struck out looking last time up. He'll also fly down and take it a walk tonight. Reed trying to breeze through the 8th. The Sox have due up in the 9th inning. Devers, Bradley, and then the pitcher spot. And a 1-1. A tough pitch on a cut and a miss on the slider.
And this is the big reason why they went out and got him, is for this slider right here. Watch this thing disappear. And that ball almost hit him in the back foot, and he took a full hack on it.
To right field, dropping. It falls in for a base hit. Barnhart is on. 1-out single, and Winker, the pinch hitter, will be next tomorrow 5:30. Check at 3:30. Don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live presented by DCU. TC and Jim will preview Eduardo Rodriguez start against the Reds. DCU is Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Erod's opponent will be Robert Stevenson. He's a right-handed rookie. And Winker to bat in the 9 spot.
So if they try and put a little pressure on too, the pinch runner for the catcher. I mean, obviously as deep as the rosters are with the 40-man, probably find some speed somewhere in the dugout.
They are going to run for him. It's a final, by the way. Toronto has defeated the Yankees 8-1. So the Red Sox can gain ground tonight in the American League East. Jose Peraza will be the pinch runner.
You went and grabbed some speed. I mean, you got 40 guys in there. You'd think you'd have someone a little faster than your catcher.
Winker, left-hand hitter. Reds' first-round draft pick in 2012 out of Orlando, Florida. His dad runs a baseball training center in Florida, founded by former major leaguer Dante Bichette, who played for the Red Sox in 2000 and 2001. One ball and one strike. So the Yankees are beaten at Toronto. Two down, a man aboard. He's the tying run for Cincinnati. And Reed home with a 1-1 offering. So he jumps in front, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, went back to that slider.
Back to that slider. Is going to have to bury it like on that big swing and miss from Tucker. When you got these left-handers up, you leave it over the plate. They got an opportunity to get something behind it, kind of like Scooter did, throw it in the seat, that dead pull. 1-2 in the driver's seat. Got a good opportunity to miss some plate right here and possibly miss the barrel. Yes.
Exactly what he does. 94 miles an hour to strike him out. 1 man left. We are heading to the 9th. The Red Sox up a run in Cincinnati. Brand new Thrill Tower at Foxwoods. It's an all-new dining playbook tomorrow morning at 9, driven by New England Chevy dealers. (5-4). Red Sox with a 1-run lead going to the 9th inning. Deck McGuire is their new pitcher, just his 4th appearance. New catcher is Turner. Red Sox bringing up Devers, Bradley, and then a hitter in the 9-hole. We'll see who John Farrell picks.
Yeah, it's kind of all hands on deck right now with the pinch hitter being up in 3rd spot. Depending on the situation at hand is what hand you would go with. You want a bunt, no one on, no one, or 2 outs, possibly the solo homer, speed guys. So there's a lot of options out there, but there's not a single guy that's picked yet.
Devers had a big night, a double and a 3-run homer, his first home run in about a month. And he crushed it to right field in the 4th inning. That put the Red Sox in front 5-4, and that's where the scoring halted. And that'll be in there for strike 3, and he knew it, as he will take a seat, 1 down in the 9th. Jackie Bradley on his way up. Red Sox have not brought anyone to the on-deck area yet, but they do have a hit out of the 9 spot tonight. That was by David Price.
Boy, do they ever.
It's going to be Hanley Ramirez. Hanley, of course, not able to DH, not used in the National League cities, but he'll get a chance for a pinch hit.
And then with the pinch hit too, what you do is you're kind of done. He's obviously not going to go into defense because Craig will be coming in, so then you have a chance to throw some speed out there. So you throw a pinch runner out there right after the pinch hitter.
Roll to the right side from the outfield grass. Gennett, very smoothly done. 2 up, 2 down. Hanley next. You saw Craig Kimbrel throwing in the bullpen. I was reading an article earlier today about Kimbrel, talking about, posing the question, is he the best relief pitcher, the best closer in the game over the last decade?
Well, it says a whole lot about the fact that you can argue that. And I faced him for the first time, I want to say in 2009. He was in Atlanta. And I remember thinking that is the best pitcher I've seen all year. He has not let up at all.
He's had a sensational year. 5-0, 138 ERA. 33 saves, 121 strikeouts in 65 innings.
We possibly have the best first baseman in the last 10 years of the game and the best closer the last 10 years in the game in the same building.
Here's Hanley. Had a really nice night in Baltimore the other night as the Red Sox swept them. Wednesday he was 3 for 5 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs. Coming back to life. 2 down, nobody aboard, and you will look at a strike. Sox have already, of course, clinched a postseason berth. They did it Wednesday while they were inbound to Cincinnati. Well, they were on the flight. There's a high deep drive to left field. Backing up Duvall at the wall. He's there to make the catch. Hanley just missed one. Red Sox go in order. Kimbrel coming on. 1-run game as we go to the bottom of the 9th. deeper coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile. Looking at tomorrow's pitching matchup. Erod against Robert Stevenson. Last 3 starts for the left-hander Rodriguez, 1-1 with a .255 earned run average. Stevenson has also pitched well his last 6 starts. This one 5-4 Red Sox, and Kimbrel has the baseball for the 65th time this season, and he's going to get the top of the order for Cincinnati here in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Red Sox are 3 outs away from taking a 4-game lead over the New York Yankees, who are trounced at Toronto 8-1 tonight. That is a final.
And over here in Cincinnati, if there's one guy you do not want on the bases to lead the inning off, it'd be Billy Hamilton leading this inning off.
Generally regarded as the fastest man in baseball. He has 2 hits tonight, 2 for 4. He has 58 stolen bases, but he has been caught stealing tonight. Vasquez threw him out in the 2nd inning when he came off the bag.
Any way to get an out.
Fly to center. Jackie Bradley in a bit, but right there for out number 1. Cozart next.
Yeah, Cozart no slouch either. Obviously double and homer power. And then leaking behind him is Joey Votto, and you'll see one of the most intense matchups you can possibly watch between Joey Votto and Craig Kimbrel, who know each other pretty well just from coming up in the National League like Craig did. And Joey loves to thrive in these situations right here.
Good night for Cozart. He has a double, a single. He's 2 for 4. Starts him with a breaking ball for strike 1. Votto on deck. He drops in another one. They keep referring to that on the bottom of the screen as a 2-seamer. It's not.
Definitely not a 2-seamer. That is what you call a slider, a washout slider. And when he can back that with a 98, boy.
0-2. That's a fastball. 101.
And it is 101. Wow. 101 miles an hour after throwing 2 sliders for strikes.
Looking to put him away. Ground ball, a diving effort by Marlin. He can't get it, and Cozart is on his 3rd hit tonight. So the Reds have some life, and their best hitter is coming up in Joey Votto. Votto's been on base 3 times.
Yeah, the sequence. This is a tough at bat. Boom, slider right there. You saw the buckle in his knees. No way he can do it. Yep, he can do it again. And he goes 101 out. And right here, you just got a guess hit. He guessed out for a fastball, and he just shot it through the hole. Good at bat by Zach right there. Put 101 in play to the right side.
Votto 2 walks and a single. He's also been struck out. 1 away. The tying run on. Power in the box. He's hit 35 home runs with 96 RBIs. Votto has hit into 15 double plays. Ground ball to first. That's fair. Taps the bag. Now has the runner to run down. Throwing to Bogarts. Running at him now. Kimbrel gets involved. Pedroia, and that will do it.
That's the guy to end it.
The Red Sox ended on a double play. Well executed rundown.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you never want your pitcher to get involved in that, but if you are in a jam, get the ball in Dustin Pedroia's hands. He'll take you to the promised land.
So the Red Sox win at 5-4. They keep on rolling on this trip. They are now 6-1, and TC gaining ground tonight on the New York Yankees.